Welcome everyone back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Naruto Shippuden episode 244. What happened last time?
Last time they arrived at the island, it looked super scary and there was a giant giant squid.
I really hope there's not a giant skid on the island.
But it was fine, and it turns out that Killer Bee has pretty much tamed every creature in there, so it's not actually that threatening. Killer Bee is waiting to train Naruto, but first Naruto has to train himself and look into the waterfall of truth and battle with his hatred. So
we're going to see what that's all about this episode. I hope you guys leave a like and subscribe, and check out Patreon to get a week ahead, as well as Uncuts, which are posted at the top of the week before the early episodes are even posted. You can get a whole lot of early episodes if you go to Patreon, linked in the description. We also ask that you support the official release. Check out Crunchyroll, read the manga, do what you gotta do to support Naruto. Come here to hear what we have to say, not to rewatch the show. We're not providing you a place to rewatch the show, we're providing you a place to hear what we have to say. Let's go. Naruto Shippuden episode 244.
Hey, Motoi? Can you help me out? Can you tell me more about Octopops? Like how he grew up and what his personality is like? Maybe I can get a few
Backstory
hints from all that stuff.
To be honest, I don't normally like to prattle on about other people. But Naruto, you're also a Jinchuriki, just like Master B is. And controlling the Nine Tails will lead to world peace. I'll do it.
Thank you!
Now, I told you earlier, as a fellow Jinchuriki, you know what it's like to live with that burden. As you can well imagine, incredible power breeds dread and ill feelings. Master B was long feared and resented by the other villagers, but he never got depressed or complained. Not even once. He was always cheerful, continuously working the people around him. Instead of feeling shame at being a Jinchuriki, he turned it into a positive. It seemed to me that he decided to take pride in himself, and even added self-expression. And the main reason he was able to take pride in being a Jinchuriki is probably thanks to his older brother, the Raikage.
super cool.
I believe Master B strove diligently to become a worthy Jinchuriki for Lord Raikage. It is said that he mastered his Waterfall of Truth challenge in no time at all.
He didn't have much darkness.
Respect for the kind of person Master B is. In my eyes, he is a true hero.
To be such a well-loved Jinchuriki, Master B must be quite a great man. And you must be too.
Hey, that's it, I got it! You can go ask Octopops for training hints on my behalf, Motoi. Would you please do that for me?
I'm sorry. I can't.
Come on, why not?
I am not worthy of such an errand. Because I once tried to kill Master B.
Yikes.
Well, okay then. Side note, I think at this point, Matt Mercer has subbed out for Troy Baker. Or subbed in for Troy Baker.
Oh.
So, I think he's now voicing the Eight Tails and Yamato in Troy's place. Which is pretty cool. At least I think. I'll have to hear it a bit more because they're very similar. I think that's why Matt was chosen to do the job, but... What?
I was gonna say, I like being able to watch the opening.
Right?
And,
Isn't
like,
that so good?
not have to freaking mess around with it every single time.
Yeah, we had to do that for so long. Although spoilery openings are the best openings, unfortunately. Like, they're way better when they tell the story, but this is a pretty good one. Like, they're flying Dragon Ball Z style, do like a triple hand sign Chidori stream thing.
Yeah, like, none of them can do anything even remotely like that. I really like all the dancing stuff, but it's just like, where who even came up with that?
So that's interesting though. B didn't have a whole lot of darkness because he wasn't trying to be the Hokage. He was trying to help the Hokage or the Raikage. You know what I mean? Like, Naruto is both the Jinchuriki and the person who's striving to be the Kage.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, he didn't know he was a Jinchuriki. Everyone just hated him.
Yeah, that's true.
It's time I confessed. Since you're a Jinchuriki too, I think it's okay to tell you about that incident.
That incident?
What do you mean?
I just met you, and now you're confessing to attempted murder 30 years ago.
Whoa.
The Jinchuriki that contained the Eight Tails wasn't strong enough to completely control the tailed beast. The Eight Tails would get loose each time. The previous Raikage, Lord Third, would stop the Eight Tails with his elite force.
Listen, I need you to hold the Eight Tails still. And while you're doing that, I'll imprison him in the ceiling urn. Understood. Okay, get to it!
Wow.
Just with chains. Like, just
Some
with
really
chains.
really risky moves, but it's
That's all
somehow
you can
working.
do. They didn't have the Reaper Death Seal.
Damn it! The ceiling jutsu chain. We can't give up!
It's a ceiling
Oh,
jutsu
okay, they aren't
chain.
just chains.
Oh.
There, got him.
Move in! Pin him down! Bravo, accursed humans!
I think that's the current Raikage. As a kid. Holy shit.
Wow.
Every time they somehow managed to subdue the Eight Tails and shove him back into the ceiling urn, there were always casualties.
Oh my god.
However, despite the risk, it was crucial to possess the Eight Tails, to preserve the balance of power between the nations. So the Jinchuriki experiments
Did you
continued.
notice how they had the Sound Village on there?
Yeah, I wonder what that's about.
30 years
I
ago?
don't think it existed back
And
then.
among the many
The land did.
casualties
The country did. Among the casualties.
was my father.
You lost your father to Master B. So that's why.
That's not it. Master B and I were close friends once. We were both only 5 years old when my father fell. The Jinchuriki responsible for my father's death died when the Eight Tails was extracted and sealed. That was the previous Jinchuriki. It was after that tragedy that Master B was chosen to be the Eight Tails Jinchuriki.
Why then?
I assumed that it wasn't possible to control the Eight Tails. I believed that there would always continue to be more victims. I was only a child, but all I could think about was getting revenge.
Some Assassin's Creed type shit.
Got a song in my heart that's gotta come out. It's gonna make y'all scream and shout. Ain't no doubt the rhymes I spout are what y'all I'm about. Yeah, nothing gonna keep me down.
Master B was always laughing. I started hating him more and more because it seemed like he didn't care at all. My hatred of the Eight Tails shifted to Master B, his Jinchuriki. I thought, if I killed Master B, the Eight Tails would also die.
Sad.
I attacked Master B from behind. Master B was shunned and despised by the villagers all the time.
Yo. Yeah.
You just egg a kid in the middle of the street. Everyone's watching.
I swear to God, like that everyone in every village, like
Get lost! You disgust me! Even
it's
though
just
he was
so
forced to become a Jinchuriki
shitty.
because of politics.
Oh yeah? You think you're bad. That's far from the worst I've ever had. Yo, check it, yo. I ain't gonna get mad. I'll just keep being glad. Come on, yo. Yo. Hey, yo.
Almost anyone else would have gone insane. And I realized Master B's suffering was even greater than mine. And yes, I am well aware that I ought to tell Master B the truth someday. For this isn't a true confession.
How convenient for him.
Naruto, where are you going?
I just want to be alone for a while.
Serious self-reflection is necessary.
It's an epic spot for
It
it.
really is.
Wait, you don't think that...
This is a secret location. An enemy couldn't possibly...
That sounded just like old man Motoi.
The fucking
Oh my
squid
God.
back again for seconds.
Shouldn't be going near the water, you guys.
Naruto, use formation C.
Why is he doing this?
Naruto, come on, focus.
Stop, Octopus! Listen to me, okay? Motoi really does trust you, and he cares about you!
Is Naruto confused?
That's the squid. It isn't an octopus at all.
What? Man, are you sure?
Not.
Oh my fucking
Naruto,
god.
you are-
Motoi's gonna die.
Octopus's head is round, the squid is pointy.
Oh, right.
Also,
I thought because Motoi confessed what he tried to do, Octopops got mad and then attacked him.
the Eight Tails looks nothing like even a normal octopus.
This is the squid from before.
Naruto, fight first, talk later, okay?
Yes, gotcha.
Wood style, silent strength.
Wood style. Oh, out of him. Okay, I was like, what's the source gonna be? They're like in the water almost.
Hang on, old man Motoi. We're coming to get you.
I tell you how I feel. I'm gonna save you for real. That's my deal. That's my spiel. Gonna make the squid squeal. 8 tails and me, we take the stage, knocking the beat up.
Let him know, B.
Right off the page.
And you notice the horn's still gone?
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Nice one, Octopops.
B, why did you save me? You knew, didn't you, Master B? You knew all along. That I tried to kill you. And yet you...
You know, I don't remember that happening. All that I do remember is Motoi and me, Motoi and me, Motoi and me spending time together, playing hard like birds of a feather. We made mistakes, but it was no disaster. And we were always bursting into like two of us smiling, best of friends forever. The times Motoi and me spent together.
I'm like tearing up from
Me
that.
too.
Oh my god. It's so wholesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great, man.
That was nice.
Check after credits. I think it. I'll just double check. We got to go back and watch a lot of the.
Those things.
Yeah, there's this
We
after
should
credits
do
thing.
that. Like we should just make a video of just that.
I want to. I think that'll be fun. What'd you think of that episode?
It's an interesting. It was kind of an interesting episode because I didn't really
care about Motoi. Yeah,
but then somehow at the end, when Killer Bee comes in and is like, "I just remembered us being
Motoi
friends,"
and me.
I'm
Motoi
getting emotional. I'm like, 2 seconds ago, I didn't give a fuck about this guy's story.
Yeah,
and then
I mean, he's just it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that how many Jinchuriki victims are going to be mad at the now Jinchuriki because
and I
of the
guess
previous
it's
Tail Beast
every
actions.
character in this entire show pretty much has a tragic backstory.
The last time we the first you know how long we've been dealing with this exact story? Since episode 1 of part 1, since we learned about Aruka's backstory in literally the first episode.
That doesn't mean that it's any less horrible, but it
does detract from oh no, he lost his family to the Jinchuriki no other character has.
Yeah.
It's just it makes it more difficult to have the sort of guttural empathy. But when you make it personal as about their friendship, then it's different.
Yeah.
And it's I love that, and I completely forgot about that. I totally forgot about Motoi as a character. Mm-hmm. It's so wholesome and nice.
It's really wholesome. It really shows Killer Bee's thing as well of just focusing on the positive stuff. He's really it seems like he has genuinely forgiven that, and then is therefore I don't even remember that. I'm not gonna focus on the shitty things that happen. I'm not gonna focus on my friend trying to stalking me and trying to murder me. I'm just gonna remember me and him hanging out.
Yeah.
Because that's the things that I want to remember.
And that's what makes B a good character and a good guy, is he's not it's just so interesting because he's not burdened by this shit that's happened to him at all. He has so much raw confidence. And he's just so confident and so sure of himself and positive, is able to not be dragged down by the bad shit. Cause he's a fully awakened person. You know what I mean? And that's why he's such a good Jinchuriki, because you need to have that peace of mind in order to, keep the tailed beast in check. So it makes perfect sense that as for Naruto's next master, he's exactly what he needs. It's cool.
Yeah,
really fucking cool.
I do like B. Sometimes I think he's a bit much.
Yeah.
But as
he grows on you for
as
sure.
This is the core of his character of just genuinely being a nice person,
genuinely fully nice guy.
That's such an awesome thing, and yeah. It's cool, and we get to see how he dealt with being kind of similar to Naruto in a way of just being the center of it. If he's gonna be the center of attention, he might as well do it on his own terms. Of oh, I'm gonna be a rapper. Everyone's gonna be talking about me and looking at me because I'm a Jinchuriki, but if instead they're doing it because I'm messing around and dancing and singing, then that's something he has control over, and that's pretty cool. But I also do think that it is interesting, because we were before we talked about how the sort of the differences between Naruto and B, even though they somehow they're quite similar, but Naruto does carry he's not letting go of the things as easily.
Yeah.
And I think that's their personalities, but I do also think that has to do to somewhat as to the knowledge of the situation. B knew what happened to him, and it was there's a lot of shitty things that came along with it, but he knew the purpose. And it's if I just do good, then
things will be good.
Then things will be good. But whereas Naruto, and like you said, he wants to support his brother, the Raikage.
Yeah.
Whereas Naruto wants to be the Hokage because he didn't even know that he had been already gifted that responsibility from his dad, who was the Hokage. It's an interesting thing.
He had to figure things out all on his own, so that's another layer to his difficulty, but, B faced the same things, and he was, the Raikage's younger brother and wanted to support that and whatever.
I guess I'm just saying it's interesting that they they're like similar in a lot of ways, but different in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Like whereas Gaara, the other previous Jinchuriki person, who's like a mirror to Naruto, was way more like Naruto. Like he and Naruto started from basically the same place, kind of like a little bit more similar. But there was the one shift in that his Iruka, turned on him. And so we didn't have that same person.
There's also the thing where, as I'm guessing, like, Killer Bee, like, was raised not knowing he was going to be a Jinchuriki until he, like, was whatever age he was in this.
Yeah.
So it's like, both Gaara and Naruto were born with it and had to, like, they never had time to just be a normal kid, ever. It was, like, always the hatred.
But Bee was chosen when he was...
when he had already, like, had some, like, assumingly, like, decent or normal, like, good
socialization and experience
knowing that
in his
good
life,
people exist and, like, good things are out there. I think that probably did play a part into it.
It gives you a sense of perspective of, like, context it's not actually me as well. It's like, it's not actually me. It's people are mad at this tailed beast. So, and I can understand that. Like, even as a little kid, like, you can separate. There's that state of separation. Whereas with Naruto, like you said, and
he
Gaara...
had no idea. Well, like,
Naruto had no idea. Gaara was just like... There's no... there wasn't the separation. It's just, this is all I've known, is everyone has hated me my whole life. But if you go from... Everyone kind of liked me. I was kind of a likable guy. Everything... But now I have this responsibility, and this is just part of the responsibility. Having all that information really changes your perspective, and so he did. There were differences to his thing, but he still had. But it doesn't change the fact that he didn't need the waterfall of truth to realize that what you need is confidence and faith that if you do the right thing, the right things will happen, and if they don't, then it's just faith. That's what faith is. It's just the willingness to do what is right with the not the expectation, but like the hope that it will turn out well, and the knowledge, believe it. The knowledge that if you do the right thing, then it's not because of your misstep or something. Nothing went wrong. It was inevitable or whatever if the bad thing still happens. But all you can do is do the right thing, and things will work out as much as they're going to, as much as they possibly can if you do your part. Basically, that's what faith is, and that's what Killer Bee seems to be. Because what Killer Bee is, he's kind of like he's like a Buddhist, like a monk kind of in a way. Like he's a master. He lived out in the mountains, these like Chinese tall pointy mountains, he's living out there in the temple alone when Sasuke went and attacked him. That's where he lived. He's going to this like peaceful wilderness in the jungle to like, train all the shit. He's a very spiritually awakened guy. It just doesn't seem like that because he's rapping all the time. But that's what he embodies. He embodies that like, awakened soul, that like fully realized person, which is really cool.
Yeah. It's cool. But I also just like, once again, now that we're seeing another village treating a Jinchuriki like crap, it's like, do you want him to explode and murder all of you? Why the fuck are you throwing eggs at this child?
Yeah.
I will never, I'm sorry.
You'll never understand it? You'll never understand that?
I get...
Have you been to a high school? Have you heard, like, school shootings happen, like, are on the rise, and they happen for this specific reason. It's just that, people have different access to firearms, I guess, or tailed beasts in this case. Do you really not understand that? You'll never understand that? Or do you just not like it? You're saying, like, I will never understand that. Do you actually...
No, I understand.
I'm going to catch you there, because people are going to be like, what? Lindsay's never going to understand why people do bad things when they're treated like shit, or why, people just look down on people for no reason. That's how it works.
I know, I just hate it, I guess.
It sucks. It does suck. That's different than, I will never understand that. To me, it's understandable. It is like, it seems a bit overblown. I would like to see a village that is like, that has the opposite thing of the tailed beasts. That would be kind of cool. But it seems like everywhere, people, like, there are people like Killer Bee where they earn the respect, or Yugito, I guess, who seem to be like on the same level. But yeah. I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye. Leave a like and subscribe.